Hi everybody, it's Miss Kalaniki. Sorry I couldn't make it in today. I have some meetings to attend, so here's another video. But you're really exciting because this is the end of our integer unit. You're going to take a test tomorrow, so really exciting stuff. Make sure you pay really close attention to what we're doing today. And if you have any questions, come see me. Alright, so make sure you copy down the homework. Homework's a little bit longer than usual today. It's just, again, to get you more practice. There's, I think, 10 questions instead of 5. Take out a calculator and put today's date, 9/18/17, on your yellow packets. Should be the last lesson in the packet. All right, here we go. So, rules to remember for adding. We talked about these in the last video. I'm going to do them one more time this time. Adding, we have same signs. If I am adding the numbers that have the same sign, I'm going to add and keep the sign. So if I have two positive numbers, I will have a positive answer. And if I have two negative numbers, I will have a negative answer. Very simple. If I have different signs, I'm actually going to have to subtract the numbers. So for example, if I have -8 plus +2, remember that's like the tug of war situation. I have to subtract the numbers, the negatives will win, and how much will they win by? 8 minus 2 is 6. So my final answer will be -6. Different signs subtract. When I am subtracting, what's going to happen is I'm going to leave change inverse. I'm going to rewrite this as an adding problem. Leaving 8 alone, changing this minus sign to a plus sign, and making the inverse of -2. Another word for inverse is opposite. So the opposite of -2 is +2. So my rule for subtracting is LCI. After I leave change inverse, it's an adding problem, and then I follow my adding rules. And my multiplying and dividing rule is so simple. If I am multiplying and dividing the same kinds of signs, my answer will be positive. If I am multiplying or dividing numbers that have different signs, my answer will be negative. It's as simple as that. So if I do 5 times 2, same signs, I will have a positive 10 answer. If I have different signs like -5 times 2, then I will have a negative answer or -10. The multiplying and dividing is exactly the same. Okay, so I want you, again, practice with your calculator. Make sure you're typing these very correctly. Make sure you double check them. On your test tomorrow, you will have some questions like this. And it's very important that you get them right because you should just put them in your calculator. As always, you should double check. So what I'm going to have you do, I'm going to have you work on this by yourself. When you are done, you're going to compare with a friend. If all is well, you're going to go to the next, I'm going to go to the next slide where all the answers are, and we're going to check all the answers together. So pause the video, do these by yourself, then compare with a friend, and then press play on the video, and we'll go over them together. Okay, if you're back, that means you did all of these questions and you check with a partner, and I'm guessing you're right. And if you're not right, you have to go back and just double check your calculator. Again, it's your responsibility tomorrow to make sure this is done. So that way your answers are definitely correct on your test. We don't want to make a silly mistake like typing in a negative or a minus sign wrong because we're doing it too quickly. All right, let's go over these answers. You should have, I'm going to give you a second to take a look at the first bunch. I'm going to scroll it up a little bit so you guys can see. So we got 18, 19, -3, -1, -4, 20, 13, -80, 10, 8, 3, -10, -32, -54, 10. If you need to, pause. Otherwise, we'll move it on. Okay, I guess we're moving on. Here we go. Scrolling it down. There's 2 more rows left. -8, -7, 10, and 32, 21, 6. Those are all the answers. If you got them all right, that means you're a really careful typer. So make sure you continue to do that tomorrow. If you are not, if you made some mistakes, your brain grew, and you will learn and be better for tomorrow's test. All right, let's move on to the back page, or very close to the back page of your packet, which is your practice test. You're going to have this to practice with. There's also a study guide in there if you need, and I'll make sure you guys have study guides for tomorrow. Here we go. All right, so the first question says find the absolute value. We talked about that word. There is going to be some absolute values on your homework tonight, so just a little review. If you need a super review, go back to your notes. It's probably the first lesson we did on absolute value. So that's what these giant bars right here mean, the absolute value of 12. I'm going to highlight them in blue so you can really see the absolute value bars. And you could always do this on your test if you need, you know, to see the highlighting, to see the absolute values a little clearer. And I think there's one more. There we go. Okay. So now we'll move on to this group of questions. Okay, so number 1 says, what's the absolute value of 12? If you remember, absolute value means the distance away from 0. And as we know, distance is always going to be a positive value. So if there is a negative number inside my parentheses, my answer will be positive. So this answer is going to be, number 1 is going to be 12. How far is 12 from 0? Away from 0? It's 12 units away. How far away is negative 30 from 0? It is 30 units away. How far away is negative 44 from 0? It is 44 units away. Okay. If you like, an option would be to work on this by yourself and then play the video. I'm sorry I didn't give you that option at the beginning. I probably should have. So you can pause right now, do it, and then come back. That's cool too. Up to you. Up to Miss Forza. All right, I'm going to give you a second to pause if you want to pause. Okay, if you paused it and you're back, that's great. I hope you had some good thinking with these questions. If you just want to go over it with me, that's fine as well. All right, the next section says complete the statement using a less than. Again, I know it's a less than because it kind of looks like an L. Greater than or equal to. Okay, so before I decide which one is greater, I'm going to first start with what is the absolute value of negative 3? Well, that's 3. So now I'm just comparing 3 and negative 7. Which number is actually bigger? Well, even though 7 is a bigger value, 3 on a number line is actually bigger than negative 7. So I'm going to use the greater than sign. Again, if you remember, greater than sign, they eat, like an alligator eats the bigger number. So 3 is the bigger number, it's going to eat the bigger number. All right, next ones. This is 2. What's the absolute value of negative 2? How far away from 0 is negative 2? It's 2 units away, which means these guys are equal. And the last one. I have 5 here on the left side, and on the right side I have the absolute value of negative 8. How far away from 0 is negative 8? It is 8 units away. And nice and easy, the 8 is bigger than the 5, so the alligator will eat the 8. Cool, cool, cool. Make sure you know these symbols. You will be using them on your test tomorrow. All right, word problems. Here we go. Highlighter's ready. The temperature in St. Louis, Missouri is 31 degrees Fahrenheit. The temperature in Duluth, Minnesota is negative 29 degrees Fahrenheit. Is the temperature in St. Louis or Duluth closer to 0? I got to figure out which one's closer to 0. I could kind of like draw a little number line if that'll help. Here's 0. My negative numbers are on this side. And my positive numbers, like 31, is on this side. Now, I didn't draw it very well to be able to look and see which one's closer, but based on what you know about absolute value, which one is closer to 0, right? How far is 29 from 0? How far is negative 29 from 0? It's 29 spaces away, right? And how far away is 31 from 0? That's 31 spaces away. So which temperature is closer to 0? I'm going to type, is the temperature in St. Louis or Duluth closer? The temperature in Duluth is closer. There we go, answer. And I guess I'm gonna have to squeeze this and put it right here. There we go. Okay, so that was an interesting question. I like that. Next questions. Here we go. Again, pause if you need to. Next one says evaluate the expression. So this is a basic adding and subtracting question. So on my calculator, I'm just going to carefully put in these numbers, and you can do the same. Pause the video, do these four, and come back to me, and we will go over them. If you have done so already, and you paused the video at the beginning and did the whole sheet, then I'm going to give you a few seconds, just in case people want to pause, to come back. Alright, so if you pause the video and you're back, that's great, let's do this. Here we go. -15 plus 4, I know, and you should know, that this is going to get me what kind of answer, positive or negative. These have the same signs, and when I add them together, I should get a negative number. And I do. I will get -19. And then when I add that to 3, -19 plus 3, in my calculator I can just do this all at the same time. But that's different signs, so I'm going to have to subtract. But the negative will still win. My final answer is -16. If you typed it in really carefully, then you should have gotten that answer. The second one too, again, have to type it in really carefully. Remember the difference. Sometimes the minus signs and the negative signs look really similar. If it is in front of the number, it is a negative sign. If it is in front of a number, it is a negative sign. If it is between two numbers, like this guy, it is a minus sign. So type that really carefully. -17 minus, parentheses, -56. You could put the parentheses, you don't have to. Either way, you should get the right answer. And the right answer for this guy should be 39. Okay. Next one. If I multiply just two of these numbers together at a time, if I multiply these two numbers together, I should get what kind of answer? Positive or negative? Are these the same signs or are they different signs? They are different signs. So different signs means I'm going to get a negative answer. Negative answer I'm going to get is -8. And I'm going to multiply that by -3. But again, you're doing this all in your calculator, so if you type it in really carefully, and again, my two negatives will end up with a positive answer, and my answer is +24. Do I have to put the positive sign? No. Am I wrong if I put it? No. So I will accept either 39, right, as a whole number, or like positive something. It's up to you, however you want to do it. And the last one, which deals with just an operation, is -78 divided by -6. Again, they are the same signs, which means I will get a positive answer, and that answer will be +13. One last word problem, and then you're good to go. If you want to start lab early, that's cool. I will leave Ms. Forza directions and the sub-directions for anything else in case we have additional time. All right, last question. Here we go. Get my highlighter out to highlight some keywords or anything, ideas. The water level is 3 feet below your dock. Okay, dock is, a piece of wood. I'm going to draw a little picture right here. So here's my dock. And the water is 3 feet below my dock. Okay, so 3 feet. Trying to picture it. You picturing it? The tide goes out and the water level lowers 1 foot. Oh, so it goes down. It went down 1 foot. 1 foot. There we go. And then the water level rises 2 feet. Oh, so now from here it goes up 2 feet. Write an integer to indicate the new water level. So it seems like a bunch of things are going on here. I'm going to go back into the problem and try to highlight lowers 1 foot and then rises 2 feet. It seems like we're going to do some 3 feet below your dock. So I'm going to start with that. What number is that? If it is 3 feet below my dock, here's my dock. And it's 3 feet below it. That means it's -3 feet. So I'm starting with -3. Then the tide goes out and the water level lowers 1 foot. Lowers means goes down, right? So we can write -1. A storm surge comes in and the water level rises means goes up 2 feet. So going up means I can add 2 feet. And if I did all of that, according to my drawing, it looks like I'm still going to be below. It looks like I'm still going to have a negative answer. I went down 3, I went down 1 more, and then I only went up 2. So I didn't get all the way to the top. So I'm pretty sure my answer will still be negative. And again, a lot of you did a really great job the other day. We're talking about, does your answer make sense? So after I do this, I get -2. And that makes sense to me because the number is still going to be negative. It looks like I went down 3, I went down 1. So all the whole time I went down a total of 4, right? 3 and then 1 more makes 4. And then I only went up 2. So to reach the very tippy top, I'd have to go 2 more. And so that's why this is showing -2. So I'm going to write -2. And if they want to label, I would label it feet. Write an integer. We're talking about feet, so -2 feet. I hope you enjoyed our review today. Tonight, again, you're going to have homework on reviewing, and you also have a reflection question. Make sure you do both of those tonight. Tomorrow, you will have a test. You will be able to use your calculator, but there are word problems, so make sure you understand how to do these word problems. You can pause the video now. I'm going to show you what we're doing for lab. You're going to get a laptop and work on some IXLs. We don't have enough iPads for everybody, otherwise I would have gotten iPads. Sorry, Maeve. I know you love your iPads. This is the assignment. Your job is going to be to work on that. If you are done early, I will tell Miss Forza something else you can work on after that. I hope you guys had a great day, and I look forward to seeing you guys back tomorrow. Bye. Bye. Have a good day.